Hello and welcome to the special preseason edition of Chatting with Chip, here with Barton College football head coach Chip Hester. I am Wilson Times sports editor Paul Durham, and coach, good to see you again. And man, you got 9 days before the season opener right here down the street at Truist Stadium against Shawan. And I just wanted to check in and see how practice has been going for you guys so far. I believe you started on the 6th, right?
That's exactly right. It's good to see you as well, too, Paul. But it is. It's here. It's hard to believe. We've been getting after it since the first day of practice was the 7th, so we reported on the 6th, and our guys have worked extremely hard. It's been a good preseason camp. Our training camp is over. We say that we're in game prep mode now, and so it's getting close. So it's the countdown is on, and our guys are definitely ready to play an outside opponent. That's for sure.
Well, coach, let's walk it back through some of the things you and I talked about back at the beginning of practice. When as you said, I will know for sure what this team, the 2023 team, is going to look like when they come back for practice, because you never know when people leave in May if they're going to come back or if they're not, especially if they've graduated. But you've got a full complement of guys. Virtually everybody who could have come back on the starting lineup for both ways, or who did start some, is back in uniform, and that's got to make you feel good. Take me through a little bit of the guys that are back and what you expect from them this year. And you can start, as always, with number 1, Jordan Terrell.
Yeah, so, and I think I've mentioned to you many times that when you say Jordan Terrell, you've also got to say those guys up front. And
exactly.
So, and those guys are a great team. They work together, and it does my heart good to see whenever Jordan comes and he sees Alex Bushaw, they always give each other big hugs. And so they've got a pretty close relationship, all those guys up front. But yeah, Jordan Terrell, really he's one of the more prolific rushers in the nation, period. He's rushed for 1,800 yards and 1,600 yards in back-to-back seasons. So he's a big deal, and a big part of that is that offensive front. And so we've got a lot of guys. Those guys that started a bunch of games last year are back, and it starts with Alex Bushaw. He's the captain of that squad, the center, and so that's exciting. I think probably the thing that people are going to see the biggest difference, or maybe the thing that hopefully will make a big impact on our ball games coming up, is our wide receiver core. So we've added some guys, and we've got some guys that are stepping up in positions, and we've got a bunch of returners as well. And so Jay Johnson has had an outstanding camp. He's had an outstanding off season. He looks to be in top form. He was a high school quarterback, but now he's really starting to get the little intricacies of playing the wide receiver position. And so that's exciting to see, as a guy who's kind of a wide receiver coach. But we're in good shape there. Fullback, Raekwon Batts returns, and then Jack White, who started the year before and was out last year with an injury, is back as well. So we've got some depth there. We're doing some different things with some guys. You'll see Gabe Heintzman playing a little more of an H-back type position, which he is really, I think, really kind of thriving in training camp at that position. So we're excited. And then probably the thing that we need to talk about the most is our quarterback. Our starting quarterback is back. So,
from an injury.
Yeah, back. He missed the whole, more than half the year, and so he's back. Looks really good. And then the great thing about last year is, although we had some growing pains switching quarterbacks in the middle of the year, Tyler Flippin got great experience last year, and so those guys have really, I think, pushed each other in training camp, and we feel really good about that.
Yeah, Jaquan certainly back. That's a huge thing, because it took a while, but I think, as you point out, by the end, Tyler was actually, he really kind of came into his own as a passer and a runner, and the team did not suffer very much when he was in there, but it took a little bit, and just to have him as a punter, as he can do so much. Man, you got so many weapons. I do have to ask you about Jordan, having seen him. We've had this conversation before about these guys growing from boys into men in 3 years. And is it just my imagination, or is his thighs about 3 inches wider, bigger? He seems so much bigger now than he did last year.
He is a grown man. he is a grown man. He looks like an NFL tailback. I think that's because of his work ethic, and he's that guy. We have an early morning meeting. He's going to be the guy that's here at 6:30 if the meeting starts at 7. He's going to be the guy that's always doing extra and getting himself ready to play, and so I think that's really good when one of your best football players is one of your best workers. I don't think anyone can question his work ethic, and I think that is it's contagious. And so guys see, well, if one of the best guys on our team is lifting this way and doing this, well, then other guys are going to do it. And I think you've talked with Shane Perry. Well, he competes.
Another one.
He competes, and so you look at. We were talking to Shane the other day in the defensive coach's offices, and if you look at a picture of him, 4 years ago, and look at a picture of him now, he's a different human being. And so I think you go down the line. We were just talking about Cam Johnson, and he looks like a grown man. Our offensive line, bigger, stronger, and so I think our guys have worked really hard, and it's gratifying to see. I think you got to tip your cap to our strength conditioning folks, Matt Schubert and his team, do outstanding work, and then our guys have put in the hours and have sweated and done the things that they needed to do to make sure that they've become the kind of football players that they're capable of being.
They sure have, and I got to know, when I spoke to Shane this summer when he won that power lifting, or was the powerlifting contest at the state games, Powerade state games, and was named NC Strongest Man. And he said, I think, me and JT are going to have to. I think it was the squat that he did. Have they had that? Have they had that contest yet?
Right, they have not. So once you get into season mode, which we're in season mode, we don't do as much maxing out. So our guys still lift extremely hard, but we don't do as much of that. But our guys are competitive, offensively, defensively, all through this preseason camp. They go at it. Our guys compete hard against each other, and that's on and off the field. I mean, we had a ping pong table in here this summer, and so guys are going hard, and we've had some cornholes set up, and Bear Huggins and the specialists. I think they are the champs right now on cornhole. So you name it, our guys compete hard, and I think that. If you've watched us play, it hasn't always been pretty, and we haven't always done. But our guys compete, and so I hope that'll carry over, and I hope our experience in the game situations that we've been through will serve us well going into this season, which is it's a big season for us.
Absolutely a big season. This is the one where, see what you planted 4 years ago comes due, because with all the craziness of the pandemic and guys, really not getting a full season that first spring. I mean, it was really a dry run. And then be able to come back and, that group to be here for their fourth year, and a lot of them are graduate students, because
absolutely.
they've done their work.
Absolutely.
But man, this is going to be a big year for y'all, because, who knows what next year is going to be like, but this is a year to savor, I would think, for you guys to enjoy every step of it. I don't know how much you can enjoy as the head coach, because all those sleepless nights over the summer, you were worried about special teams or whatever, has turned into one big sleepless night going into the preseason. But what are you most concerned about right now? You've been at practice for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks?
Right.
You got a game in 9 days. What are you most concerned about?
Well, special teams, always.
Of course.
And punt.
Right.
To be most specific, but we've got guys that have been there and done it before, and so I think we've got some guys that'll have to step into some new positions there, and we're trying to put them in different situations, and hopefully they'll respond well to it. But again, you go back to it, and I think we've got over 15 guys that are in grad school,
wow.
and maybe as many as 20. I need to count that and get an exact number, but there are a bunch of guys with a ton of experience. And so defensively, you've got guys, Quayon Gilbert, Jay Wheeler, Matt Smith, Alex Gow, all those different types of guys, and a lot of those guys will play on special teams. Kerm Solomon has played a ton of football, and so you've got guys that have been there and done it. I don't think I don't think they'll have really big eyes. I think they'll be calm, and so that gives me a little bit of I guess calm in my thoughts. But look, every game is different. New things come up, but it gives you a little bit of calmness when you think, our guys have been here before. They've been in pressure situations. They've been down. They've been up. And hopefully they'll respond the right way.
Now, is everybody, you mentioned Alex Gowda, is he back? Is he ready to play? Is everybody who got hurt last year ready to go right now?
So far so good right now. Gowda is they're easing him back in, but he has been practicing, and so we're trending in the right direction. And we're trying to be conservative with all those guys who've had injuries, and our team doctors do a great job, and our athletic training staff does a great job of kind of working those guys and rehabbing, and it takes a lot of work with a lot of individuals, but I think we're on track and feel pretty good about where we are health-wise.
All right. Well, like I said, this is our preseason edition. We'll be back next Tuesday to talk more about, specifically about Shawan with Coach Hester, and see how it's going into the first real week of the season. And get ready, folks. Barton football is back and ready. So we will see you next week.